Hi, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. Today we have an awesome truck, a 2019 Ram 2500, and we're putting the seat covers on the truck today. This is the black Dura insert with the Kryptek Raid trim, and also it's going to have the special ops package on the back. So it's going to be a nice looking set. I love this Kryptek Raid. Just really looks good with the blacks and white trucks like this. So let's jump into it. Let's do this install. So a few things to get started is a light pair of gloves, your install fiber stick tool here, and then also grab the flyers out of there. Friends and family, pass those around, okay? So the very first piece that we're gonna do today is this top lid cover right here. This seat here is a 40-20-40. The 20 section is the middle console. Folds up into a seat like that with bottom storage. You're gonna let us know those details when you're ordering the seat covers. If you have a 40-20-40 or a set of buckets or whatever style you have, again, let us know as you're placing your order, and then it's gonna be custom fit to your vehicle. The lid cover is real simple. You just slide it down like this, right over, and there's gonna be a back piece of Velcro attachment that is actually, this back Velcro is gonna attach on to the cover that goes on this right here, and those two attach together back there. But again, the lid cover is real simple. Just pull it on over, and now we're gonna get ready for the next one. Now we're gonna do the 20 section backrest piece because that's gonna connect with the lid cover up there. So I'm just gonna push this back through right there, and then there's elastic here on the front that's gonna hug around the front there. Grab that back side of that, and I'll pull that in, and then just get it all situated there. Okay, I can tell that that's coming pretty close to lining up where it should. Right there. There's foam backing on this section here because in all the seating section, there's about 1/2 inch of foam backing. So we get 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch there, and then also the other seating sections, it's gonna be a 1/2 inch around there. The next step is attaching these two pieces together back here. And what I'll do is I'll lift this cover up right here and press those two together. And that'll connect those two pieces right there. And we'll kind of finish forming this around. And then what we'll do is we'll get it ready for the other sticky back Velcro pieces. Now we're gonna do the 20 section, the backrest, and the sticky back Velcro pieces. This is what you're gonna wanna do. I took a little piece of scissors like this and trimmed down these Velcro pieces to about the sizes that I wanted them. Okay, and then also you could trim down some of these Velcro pieces if you need to as well. Most of these I don't need to. The only one I really needed to trim down was this one right here because I don't want it extending into the coin tray right there, because that one's gonna stick right about there is where this one needs to stick down. This one's gonna come around, that's just gonna go flat against there, so it doesn't need to be trimmed up at all. So trim that first. Next thing I did is I took these alcohol prep pads and cleaned off the inside plastic before I stick any of this sticky back Velcro down. Okay, so you wanna clean that off, make sure it's nice and dry, and then what you're gonna do is take off these sticky back Velcros. Try not to touch the adhesive side. And if it's a real cold day, you're gonna wanna heat those up. Put them on the heater, or let them sit in the sun, and rub that down right there, okay? And again, this step here is the last thing you're gonna wanna do before you kind of finish out this console, because once these stick down, you don't wanna have a lot of movement on those pieces. I'll see, okay, this is where, lining this up, okay, everything looks good there. That's where that one's gonna stick down. Now I know that this one's gonna be over here. So I'm gonna take another piece of Velcro, put it in that location, right there, peel this off. Again, I'm trying not to touch that adhesive side, so then it has the best chance of sticking, okay? Again, just pressing it, letting that adhesive stick down. Now the trick is when you stick these down, you're gonna pull the cover tight before you stick it, okay? So I got this cover nice and tight. I'm just gonna stick it down like that. Then I'm gonna bring this one down, stick it down right there, okay? And then I'm not gonna pull up on it, okay? If you actually try pulling and checking and testing it, the strength of that Velcro bond is gonna overpower that adhesive oftentimes. So just let that stick down, and really it's not gonna get a lot of movement on this cover, so that should stick good right there, okay? If you have troubles with that piece and you end up needing some more sticky back Velcro, please contact us and we will help you out with that, and we wanna make sure this part of this install finishes out really nice for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the same thing with these two sides. I'm looking at where they need to stick down. Got my idea there, and then I'm just gonna take these pieces and stick them on. Now we're gonna do the 20 section bottom. Again, this is a bottom storage piece here, and there are some trucks that don't have bottom storage. Some people have bottom storage and they never knew they even had bottom storage. So check to see if your truck, if you have a 20 section where there's a middle seat there. If there's a middle seat, 3 people can sit in your front seat, and that means you have a 40-20-40 most likely. So pull that guy down, just pulls on. There's 2 pieces of Velcro. You're gonna have to kind of work it around this large handle right there, but it's not too bad. You just gotta figure it out. And then this one right here, there's gonna be a front piece of Velcro. So you just make sure that's pulled tight, okay? And then once this Velcro sticks down, it's not moving. So, nice cloth down there, and then to Velcro. Okay, so that all sticks down right there. And then this back piece right here, I'm gonna push through underneath, and then also stick to that cloth on the back side back there. Just like that. Okay, and then you got your 20 section bottom done. Just smooth out those other sides, make sure everything's laying flat there. Okay, so now we're gonna do the driver's seat section. First thing we're gonna do is pop the headrest off. You just push in on the buttons on this set and it comes off there. So there's the headrest section there. Now, we're gonna do the bottom seat section first, actually. And I know this is the driver bottom. A couple of reasons is that a lot of them will have tags on them. Now, if it doesn't have a tag and you order a driver pistol holster, that only goes on the driver section. So you can check for that. Also, some driver and passenger bottoms are the actual same seats, but some. Another way to tell for this one is there's a big slit right here for the seat belt coming up right there. So that's another way to tell. Contact us if you're not sure on what pieces where. And first thing you're gonna do is undo those strings right there, okay, on both sides, because you're gonna need to have those loose to weave them through, okay? And now what we're gonna do is just get this into place. So there's this rear flap right here. That's gonna unhook. There's just these 2 little plastic hooks like this, and they hook onto metal bars underneath there. So just reach underneath with your thumb, push it, and it unhooks real easy. Okay, and so you are gonna need to unhook those to push that bottom cover through. When we're all done, we'll actually hook that back on and put the top cover over it. So it'll all be covered up, but for right now, during the install, that needs to be unhooked. So now you're gonna take this fiber stick tool and work that seat cover into the side trim right there. So that all tucks in right there. Now, next thing you're gonna wanna do is take this outside string right here, and you're gonna wanna push this through in between the seat and the plastic vinyl right there. There's a little space, and you're gonna wanna drop that through. I see a lot of customers take this string and they put it around the outside and try to tie it off on the outside, and that looks bad. Don't do that. Do this. Push it through this little space right here. Takes a little bit longer to do this, but it looks so much better. This is the correct way to do it. Okay, so that drops through, and then there's your string. Okay, so just drop through that space in between the seat and the hard plastic right there, and then I'm gonna pop that around back, and then it's gonna tie off. And now the other thing I wanna show you too, right here, is once you have that felt unhooked back there, you're gonna wanna push the rest of this back portion of the seat cover through. So I'm gonna push that through there. Push those straps and that Velcro section through, and that way, as I go around to the other side on the back side now, I'll be able to grab those and pull them through. So now that I push these straps through, there's 3 straps, okay? And I'll show you each one here. First off, you're gonna wanna grab this and make sure it's snug down to the seat there. Yeah, and don't pull too hard because you don't wanna pull that front up too much. You want it still to be level with the seat. So there's 3 straps, okay? And what you're gonna wanna do is first take this middle strap right here. And I'm gonna take that middle strap and I'm gonna go to a solid bar underneath the seat. And then I'm gonna go back to this buckle, and that keeps that seat from ever sliding forward. Okay, so George often calls it the safety strap. Just another safety mechanism to make sure it doesn't ever, the seat cover doesn't slide around on you. Okay, so I've weaved that through a solid bar right there. So I got that through a bar there, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it through this buckle right here, through the middle one, and then through the outside slot right there. Okay, all the buckles are gonna work that same way, going through the middle and then that outside slot. And then I'm just pulling this tight, just kind of snugging it down right there. Now that middle strap is done. The 2 outside straps are actually gonna get passed all the way to the front of the seat, and the buckles are located up at the front of this seat cover up there. So I just push those through. Those will get passed through. Now for this string portion, you're gonna wanna take one side, and what you'll do is, loop it, take it in half, and then loop it around to tie a knot right there. Okay, so then we got a knot with a loop on one side. Then I'm gonna take this other string. I just pass this other string just goes around the outside of the seat right there. So pretty simple, you just pass it on the outside. Then I'm looping this around, taking that one side, looping around that loop right there. And I'm pulling each side tight, and what I'm doing is when I pull, I just kind of pull straight back on it right there, okay? That's how you get the slack out. So just pulling straight back right there. That's all the slack we need out. This one doesn't have to be super, super tight. I wouldn't yank crazy hard on these. You can snap these. And really, this string is more for aesthetics anyhow. It just hugs the corners in and doesn't do a whole lot from keeping the seat from sliding. It just keeps the corners looking nice. Okay, so I got that string. I kind of just tuck it up underneath right there. And now again, these straps are getting passed up to the front to go to the buckles. And that's the next step, is putting the buckles on. Now it's time to do the front buckles on these seat covers here. So this is the front buckle here. We've passed this strap from the back of the seat up to the front of the seat. And now I'm going through this portion right here, and then the outside section. So again, the middle, then the outside. And now one tip on this is make sure, if it's an electric seat, make sure you've raise the seat all the way up as high as it can go, because it's gonna give your hand a little bit more space when you're underneath here, and every little bit of space makes a big difference. So I'm compressing with one hand at the top as I do this, and that'll help get a snug fit of the cover. Once I got that down nice and snug, do the same thing to the other side. I've actually already looped it, and so now I'm just gonna compress, get the snug fit, and check things on top, make sure everything's looking good. And then what I'll do is those straps, you can just kind of leave them underneath there, or you could hook them up onto a spring to kind of get them out of the way if you want to. A few tips as well is, as you're fastening these straps and strings, make sure you're avoiding compressing electrical cables or wires underneath your seat, as you don't want to get into any of that, and just avoid it. Just watch where you're putting the tension, okay? And then also, one little tip on this string, where I pass this string around, originally I went around the full outside. And I actually realized that there's a better spot for it is if you just go straight underneath the seat, and then just, let's actually show you that. So I went straight here and then underneath, but we'll get you another view. So if you take this outside string and you just, where it comes is it goes right underneath the seat. Instead of passing it behind and back around, go straight down on the inside of that. Instead of going around taking the string around the outside right here and then tying it off right here, what I did is I went underneath this piece down here. Okay, so in front of where this kind of hinge area of the seat is, in front of that's where I passed the string right there. So you kind of see it right, there's the string right there. So I went in front of this piece right there, and that's going to avoid it from catching, because I noticed that it started to catch on that hinge joint. So that's going to help give you the string a little bit of a longer life for you, so it doesn't catch as it moves forward and back. Okay, so now we're going to do the driver backrest section. So I know it's the driver backrest section because there are 3 Velcro tabs right here on the outside. If the airbag ever needs to deploy, that's on the outside section of the seat. Okay, and then there's going to be the front here, and again, I'm just going to pull that down right there, get things kind of fit into place. And then what you're going to want to do is take a small scissors or some scissors, and there are holes pre-cut out for these headrest posts, but then what you're going to want to do is just cut small little slits right there, and that's going to help. I just cut 4 of them, and that's helps to open this up a little bit right there. And it is a ripstop material, so it's not going to run on you, but you do want to be careful not to cut too much on that. Okay. And again, these are just wider headrest posts than a lot of other posts there, so you got to work it around and then tuck that in underneath right there. Okay, so it should finish out just like that. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing with this side right here, working that around. Okay, there we go, just finishes out like that. Okay, so now you're going to want to take this front felt right here and push that through the seat to the back side. Okay, and just make sure that all gets through and is looking good on the front side before you stick it down. I will go on the back side and tighten that down before I stick it down. Okay, so you push that through. Now that you've pushed this through right here, okay, so you're going to take this felt, pull it nice and tight, and there's this Velcro from the bottom seat. This is why we do the bottom seat, but there's this Velcro right here, and then this felt is going to now stick down to that Velcro. Okay, so you're just pulling that nice and tight and sticking it down onto that Velcro. And that's a great way to, awesome install method here, just to make your life so much easier. Just sticking that down right there. Okay. Now what you'll do is take this felt, and I'm gonna kind of curve back the corners of this seat cover felt, and just so it gets hidden under this carpet felt, I'm gonna push this down, and this carpet backing now you're gonna take those clips right here and you're just gonna reach underneath and hook them back on to the metal bars underneath there. So you're just, takes a second to find it, but once you find that metal bar, again, you're just reaching underneath and hooking it back on. Now we'll finish off the side airbag piece. There's 3 Velcro tabs that you need to connect together. So there's 1, 2, and 3 right there. So that side's all done. Again, you get full coverage, but if the airbag ever needs to deploy, then it's set up so it can do that. And now the back side here, there is this flap that what you're gonna wanna do, since we've already attached this carpet underneath here, you're just gonna pull that down just so it's even. And this is a nice flap down here because then it gives full coverage here in case if you have people riding back here and they get their feet dirty and it kicks up on that carpet, it keeps that all clean back there. So that just sticks down onto the Velcro. This wide section right here, that also has the hook Velcro right there. That's the front, okay? So just gonna get this, that skinny section is the back right there. And you're gonna wanna compress that down, so kind of put it in between your leg and arm right there and push it down. You wanna compress it and not just force this because you could rip seams as you're doing that. And so this just helps avoid that. So, just working this on here. Okay, now I'm just hooking those bottom sections up right there. Okay. Making sure that everything's looking even. You may have to just kind of make some slight adjustments to make sure everything is straight on. And then, simple as this, you just hook that Velcro on right there, okay? And then you got your headrest done. Now I can put that headrest back in. We're on the backrest now. First thing we're gonna do is take off the headrests. And these ones, again, pretty simple. You just need to push in to those. There's 2 little buttons on both sides. And looks like we might have to bring this forward to release it. There we go. This middle one, same thing. There's just these little buttons. You gotta press them both at the same time. Pulls them out there. We're gonna do the 60 section backrest first. This seat is a 60-40, so 60 section and then a 40 section here with an armrest. So 60-40 with armrest, has 3 headrests back here. When you're placing your order for custom seat covers, you're gonna wanna tell us those types of things. What style of seat you have as you're placing the order. If you do it on the phone, we'll be asking you those questions. If you do it on the website, there's a little cartoon image and you can select your seat style. First thing I'm gonna do is open this up. This is a Velcro opening right here. And what you're gonna wanna do is bring this around like that. You're gonna wanna make sure that you're going on the inside of this seatbelt, right here as well, okay? So make sure that seatbelt is pulled out before you get going on the insole. These mega cabs are nice because the seat pulls forward with that tab right there. You can release that seat and pull it forward and makes your life a lot easier to install this. Okay, so we're just kind of working things around right here. Next thing I'm gonna do now is put these headrest pieces in, so those are kind of locked in, and I'm gonna grab the fiber stick tool to do that. So what you're gonna need to do when you're getting these headrest posts on is grab some scissors and your fiber stick tool. Again, that comes in your package with the seat covers, but we're gonna give ourselves a little bit more slack to put this on, because these are real tight here. And if you do this, again, I'm just making about 1/4 inch slits. I just make 4 of them. And that's gonna open this up, give me a little bit more space to get this around, okay? You can see how you don't wanna do any larger of a slit or else it's gonna show. But if you do a small slit like that, it finishes out like that and you can't see anything, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing that I just did for this one for these other 3 headrest posts right here. Now that we did those headrest posts there, again, they all look really nice. I'll show you that. And again, if lean on the side of doing smaller slits, and they'll all finish out like this, okay? They take a little time to work through, but they look good, okay? Next piece is you just line up this Velcro right here, attach that together, and again, make sure that you have the seat belt pulled out in front of it. And now we're gonna take this felt on the front side and we're gonna push that through to the back, okay? That's gonna push through all the way down here, and then we're gonna pull this seat down right here, and then grab that felt, and we're gonna then attach it to this Velcro on this back side right here. Okay, so you wanna get that felt, you wanna pull pretty good on that felt there. Again, I'm gonna get the felt over here as well. So there's 2 long pieces of felt that you need to pull up. Make sure it's straightened out before you start attaching it. So I'll just put this one on first, again, giving it a nice tight pull. I'll even kind of check it with my other hand and push with my other hand to make sure that it's nice and tight there. And again, I'm gonna pull there, get this Velcro ready here. Hold that down, and then get this Velcro right here. Stick that on right there. Good. And that's gonna give you a full back coverage back here. Be awesome. Awesome set of covers here. Takes a little time to put on, but so much cleaner. Looks awesome. Again. There we go, just pulling, again, just doing that same thing, pulling the felt tight, and then sticking down the Velcro. Okay, so that's stuck down now there. So that looks good on that front side. Now what we're gonna work on is this piece here. I'm gonna grab this armrest section right here. Gonna open up like this. Gonna slide over. There's gonna be a tab right here, and there's gonna be a cutout for that tab. So make sure that before you pull it all the way tight, that you have the tab pulled through. There we go. That cutout right there is made so then you can still use your cup holders. Okay. Okay, so just getting that pulled around tight. There's this Velcro right here that now you're gonna attach. So you're gonna take this flap right there and push it through. And then pull it through on the other side up here. It's kind of a tight spot, but it's a great looking console or a armrest cover once you get this. So now that you have this back side of the armrest cover pulled, that's as high as it'll go right now, and I know that because I feel on the other side underneath, and it's all flat and it's pulled tight. I'm gonna take this, I'm just gonna slide this down. Try not to stick any of it down just yet. And then what I'm gonna do is take this cover and then pull it up and then stick that guy on. It's a tight spot, but it's nice that this then is kind of out of the way. You don't really even see this attachment once it's down. Okay, so I got that stuck down right there, and then so look at that. It's just a great fit. You know, looks really nice. Now what we need to do is we need to get these flaps and tuck them in. Okay, some people I see, they just leave those flaps like that, and that just does not look good. So don't do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take each of these flaps and we're gonna pull them tight like this, and we're gonna stick them underneath this plastic right here. Okay, and we're gonna do that whole thing around like that. Okay, we'll start doing that, and it will be helpful to have your plastic trim tool for some of that right there. Again, because you're just gonna have to really work it as you're doing this. The mega cabs are easier because you can fold the seats forward, but they're harder because you have this armrest section. Makes it just a little bit more tricky of a section to do. So again, you're just gonna take your time, working all the way up through, tucking it in to the plastic like this. That Velcro kind of grips it, but mostly what grips this is how tight it is against that plastic. It just kind of traps the material in there. So I just finished tucking in the seat cover fabric on these armrest inner flaps right here into that plastic. Again, what you're going to use is use this plastic tool. I've done a lot of these, and it took me about 10 to 15 minutes just for this section. So it takes some time to tuck those in. The two tightest pieces are these corners, and if you really work at it, you can pop it up that corner underneath that plastic. It's real tight, but you can definitely do it. So you just have to work at it, push it in, pop it in. And then I did the same thing with that bottom flap down here. And it helps if you just push that armrest down a little bit and then you tuck that in underneath there. So it will tuck all four flaps, will tuck in there. And then you finish out like that. That's so much better, because then when you take this armrest in and out, the inner flaps just stay in nice and tight. Everything's secured, dust, dirt, nothing's getting in there. So great fit right there. We're gonna pop the headrest covers on. Just gonna get these guys out of the way here. So there's two large headrests and one small one. And here's the large headrest cover right here. Again, the front side is that longer side there, so the wider one. And then also it has the hook Velcro on there. The skinnier one is towards the back. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on. Again, doing the same method as we did before, compressing this down like that. I do one side at a time, just kind of work them in. Try to get it on as straight as I can at the beginning, so then I don't have to make too many adjustments once it's on. But as you can see, I kind of got it on crooked, so it's not a big deal. I'll just finish getting this pulled down, and then what I'll do is wrap this around side to side like that, and that'll give it a few turns to kind of straighten it out. Okay, so getting this straightened out there. Gonna take these bottom flaps right there, get them pulled out there like that. Bring these two together. Stick this guy down. Stick this guy in right here. So whatever choice you choose, fabric choice you choose for your trim, that'll be what your headrests and your middle sections are made out of. So your middle console would be made out of whatever your trim fabric is. So that's why these are in the Kryptek Raid. That's the Kryptek Raid trim. And we'll do that same thing just with the middle headrest now. And again, middle headrest, longer piece is towards the front right there, and that's the hook Velcro. Okay, so that's gonna go on the front, so we'll just pop this on and then pop that, well, and we'll wait to do the last headrest there. Now we're gonna do the 60 section bottom. So this seat right here, and here's the 60 section bottom cover. And there's gonna be straps and then also a string and then also Velcro back here that keep this all down. So first thing I'm gonna do is loop in this Mega Cab has this rear that reclines this seat back. So you just put that in first, then get this cover on most of the way. There we go. It's a fixed bottom here, so it's on some trucks the bottom can flip up and then you can put stuff underneath it, but it's fixed to there, so we're just gonna have to install this down like this here. So what I've done now is I've pushed this all through and through the back side and then past these straps from the back up to the front. Couple tips for you as you're doing that. As you're pushing this back, that Velcro is gonna, if you don't watch it, it's gonna catch the felt that's on this seat cover here. So just kind of guard it with your hands and then push it through and get it past that felt, and then you won't have that issue. The other tip is there's these little child seat attachment bars right there. And those bars, you're gonna wanna push this underneath the bar, okay? Because if you go over it, then you're gonna block that and not make it accessible. And you wanna push it underneath and then pull it through, okay? So once you pull it through there, you can take those straps. They're gonna come up to these front buckles right here. Again, you're gonna go through that middle strap right there, or through the middle slot, and then the outside slot, just like we always do with these same buckles here, and then cinch that down underneath there. And I'm gonna kind of compress here and just cinch that down just so it's snug. You don't have to go too hard on that one. And do that same thing for these other buckles there. Once you have those straps tightened up there, you're gonna wanna we're gonna do the string portion now. Tie on a knot in one side, so you got a loop here. Yeah, and then I'm gonna take the string from the other side that's over here, and I'm gonna just take that underneath, loop it around, so maybe you can see that. But I'm gonna take that string, loop it around that one there. And again, this is more for aesthetics. You don't have to crank real hard on these strings. It's just to keep these corners up, you know, kind of cinched to the seat. It doesn't do a lot from keeping the seat in place, so don't worry about cranking super hard on it. And then you just tie that off, and then you'll be all done with the 60 section bottom right there. Now we're gonna do the 40 section backrest. Again, 60/40, so this is the smaller section. 40 section backrest. Pulling this over here. Real similar to what we did on the 60 section, except for you don't have as many pieces, because it's smaller section here. Okay, again on this one, we're gonna take the scissors, make the small little incisions. Again, nothing more than a small little kind of 1/4 inch slit. Okay. Again, you don't want to cut too much, because if you cut too much, then it'll show up even after you pop it under the headrest post. So just 4 small little slits there. And then we're just gonna work this around. There we go. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do the same one. Same thing over here. Okay, those 2 are done up there. Now, I'm gonna pull this felt through, this front felt. Okay, grabbed it there now. Okay, just pulling tight on that. And sticking that down. Again, much easier than the 60 section backrest, just because it's less to manage right there. Okay. There we go. Okay, nice. Okay, so 40 section bottom. Now we got the backrest on, we're just doing this bottom, and again, same tips as the 60 section bottom. When you push this Velcro through, try to block it from catching that felt backing, okay? So if not, then it'll catch that felt up here, and you know, you have to undo that. And then the other thing too to try to do is, well, you'll need to do is make sure it gets underneath the child seat attachment bars. I like to just try to get it into place before I slide that back. Okay. I'm gonna slide that underneath. Again, trying to, there, it caught some of that felt, so you just gotta watch that and try to keep your hands over it so it doesn't catch the felt. Push it underneath those seat belt, the child seat bars. Perfect, and then I'm gonna push those straps through underneath, and then we're just gonna do the same method. We're gonna take that this string to this string, just take them underneath, tie them off to each other, and to take those two straps, go up to the buckles, cinch it down. That should get you set up. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Again, this has been Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers on the 2019 Ram 2500 install. And had a great time putting everything on. If you have questions about the install, if you've ordered the covers, give us a call or go to the website coversandcamo.com to find our email address there to contact us. Then also please subscribe to the YouTube channel to see more install videos like this, awesome sets of seat covers, and get our ideas and recommendations for your vehicle. You can do that either, again, by giving us a call or going to coversandcamo.com. Thanks.